Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the Coach's Corner, presented through the Unitas Caritas YouTube channel. And we want to welcome all of you as we look back on this past week's game against Hudson Catholic. And we'll also preview our first round game coming up, not this weekend, but in 2 weeks. On November 11th, we'll be taking on number 2 seeded DePaul in the non-public B football playoffs. Once again, we welcome our coach, Coach Columbo, joining us this week again. And we're going to talk and get his view on the Hudson Catholic game, as well as take a look ahead to the game against DePaul coming up in about a week and a half. So, Coach, let's get things started. Let's talk a little bit about that game against Hudson Catholic, an overtime loss. Are you tired of those overtime games yet?
I don't know where I would find this out, but I got to think 4 overtimes in a single season has got to be some kind of record.
Yeah.
And just to put it into perspective, I was at Del Val for, a dozen plus years. We had 2 in 12 years. We've had 5 now in the last 12 games here at Immaculata. So, I mean, they're not just to have that many in 1 year is very, very rare. And the thing that, the combined record of the teams that we went to overtime with is 32-4.
Yes.
Okay. And then if you go back to the one last year, they were 8-0. So you're talking about 40-4 of 5 teams we took to overtime. So, we're getting there. We're inching closer and closer. We're a player or 2 away in some spots, but we can very easily be 7-2 or 8-2 right now, very easily.
Yeah.
And it just didn't happen for us. And I was very nervous, as you well know, about the Hudson Catholic game. I just thought, they were a superior team athletically. We had a hard time moving the ball on them. They were so big up front. And the thing no one realizes is that we couldn't get open in a passing game. They have 4 scholarship DBs, 4 in 1 secondary. That's a tough task.
Sure, absolutely.
And but our defense played lights out.
Yes.
I think our defense has been playing very well over the last 4 weeks or so, since Pope John. We are close. We're getting there. We just need that little bit of a nudge to get over the hump. So, I was happy with the performance of the kids. Obviously, I thought we were going to win it. But another tough overtime loss for us.
What was the game plan going into the game against Hudson Catholic? Just talking to a few people afterwards and stuff, it seemed like, did we go conservative? I don't think so. I think you looked at what they were giving you, and that's basically how it had to go.
Yeah, I mean, offensively, we're just looking to control the ball.
Yep.
We were very conservative, and I think a lot of time, we were punting a lot of times when we were on our side of the 50, and we did that because we wanted to pin them and play defense. Offensively, teams know where Cameron Chadwick, is lined up.
Yes, they do.
And I know this. If I was defending us, I would know every single formation and where he is and have a plan for that. I just think that it's getting a little harder to get him clean right now. We're just trying to find the right formula to get some movement on the ball. Defensively, we're gonna take away we're gonna try to take away what you do. So, for example, I'm gonna put every formation that you run up on the board, and I want I'm gonna find out exactly what it is you're doing out of each formation, and we'll find a default defense that works against all of it, and then we'll have checks to things that we need to stop. And I gotta tell you, our middle linebacker, Kenny McGoldrick, does an outstanding job getting us lined up. I mean, he is like having another coach on the field. So that is really, really nice to have a kid that knows exactly what it is you're trying to do and knows what to check into. So I thought defensively, you're going to see some shots here that are just outstanding. Coverage wise, we played great. We made some good plays coming off the edge, and I did not expect to shut them down the way we did, but we played very well defensively.
Yeah, one of the things that you look at the fact there were at times you saw Cam Chadwick was covered by 2, 3 guys at a time.
Yeah.
They knew exactly where he was
Right.
all the time. But some of those guys just stepped up for you guys. Michael Tallis,
Yeah.
Martin Wanton. I mean, those guys really, really did a job. And I'd say good job. I mean, maybe not a lot of yards there or whatever, but they did a good job to try and get things upset them a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we have other kids, and those other
Yep.
kids have got to step up and make big plays when we take Cameron away. Now, yeah, I think they've all done an outstanding job. But again, we've had some injuries. Luke Scott's out, Joe Fleming's out. We're trying to piecemeal things in different spots. Michael Tallis has been banged up, throughout the season, but he just gives you everything he has. And of course, pounding Martin in there, he's not going to break a long run for you,
No.
but he's going to. And there's a shot of him when he scored the touchdown in overtime. Yep. He just ran through 3 people. Yeah, other guys got to step up, and defensively, I think our guys have really stepped up.
Absolutely,
as well.
absolutely. I mean, there's no doubt that a lot of people thought this game was going to be close, maybe even you too. But I tell you, it was impressive to watch how our kids showed up to play. No doubt at all.
Yeah, it became a chess match, going back and forth and jockeying for field position, and trying to stay a step ahead of each other with what we were calling, and it was fun. It really was.
It was a fun game to watch.
Yeah.
And so some people may have called it a snoozer. Some people may have said it was boring. I tell you, I kind of was right in the trenches there.
It was a pitcher's duel. It was like a 1-0 baseball game.
There you go. There you go. So we also want to remind our reviewers, don't forget, if you have any questions for Coach or us here at the Coach's Corner, please be sure to click on the link there to submit your questions, and we'll get them answered for you towards the end of the show. So, Coach, let's take a look at some of the highlights from the game on Friday night against Hudson Catholic.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of defensive highlights, and this one might have been the second play of the game, and 2 things happened here. And again, this is one of the checks, okay? They're in empty formation, no backs. Okay, now you got to defend 5 receivers,
right?
So you better have some kind of plan for that.
Sure.
I'm not going to reveal what that is, but we do have a check for this that has to be communicated throughout our guys. So when you look at it, you're going to look at just, if I stop this and just play it back just a hair here, they're releasing 5 receivers, with the 5th one being the guy swinging, okay, out of the backfield. Now, look at 4 on top, 4 underneath. We're dropping 8, okay? We're dropping 8 out of that because we know they're throwing a ball out of it. And you look at with the back swinging like that, look at our linebacker now running to him. Okay, that's a great job, and we do a tremendous job at that. Now, what that does is that helps us with our pass rush, although we're only rushing 3. If you watch Jaden Wooten at the top of the screen, inside, comes back out, makes a great sack, okay? Great play by him, okay? But that's what they call your coverage sack, so we did a real nice job. Here it is from the back end, and you can see Wooten on the right of the screen just run the kid down and, just make a really, really big play, early on. Okay, defensively, again, we're at a 3rd and long here. Okay, there's a deep drop, and Cole Hayden, from his safety spot. Now, he was playing outside linebacker, but against certain formations, we put him back at safety. And he just makes a play here. It's a crossing route. As you see the crossing route, he is very disciplined. He's able to jump it, and he comes up and, makes a great play on the ball there. So I think our pass defense was extremely good. Here's another one on the run game. And again, I talk about gap control, okay, and how important gap control is. And when you see a back come to the line of scrimmage and bounce it, that's great gap control. Now, when that happens, you have to make sure that your guys on the outside are disciplined enough not to stick their nose inside. And what happens here is we get a great job from Arian Johnson. And And we get a great tackle on him, and that's just a tremendous job.
Yeah.
Plus, we get a hold on Martin Langton here. They held him, got a penalty out of it, but gap control and then the bounce and all that, which is really good. When you look from behind, right? There's gap control. That's gap control. Every gap is taken care of. And now when that happens, the ball has to bounce. And when it bounces, you got to have guys out there that are making plays. Okay. Another one on defense. We're bringing someone off the edge, and they catch a ball here. Okay. Our inside linebacker doesn't drop to the right spot. However, we rip the ball out. Okay. Jackson Roberts comes up, rips the ball out. We're able to jump on it and get the ball back. Okay. We run a takeaway circuit, every other day in practice. We actually ran it today. And that's for things like this, punch the ball out, get it out, run to the ball, okay, when it's on the ground, because good things always happen. All right, now we're on offense here. This is a 3rd and long, and this looks very, very good. We're in motion. We run double slant with an arrow. We hit a mirror, 1st down on 3rd and long. Just a real nice deal. And when Mason gets in this groove, he's as good as anybody. So that was a big play for us. And, looking at it from behind, protection-wise, because I always love the protection end of it, and just a great job. So, you look at Michael Tallis. He's not a very big kid, but he steps up in there. Look at the job Finn Tully does, the right tackle, okay, on his protection. Colin Papp does a nice job. Now, you got to understand that, 55 in there is going to Vanderbilt. We were able to control that kid all night long, which was very, very, very nice for us. Here we're running the ball, increasing it, okay? And again, the work of the offensive line here. And I like to show that from behind, where when you look at our left tackle, Aaron Mielek just runs that kid down blocks him, a good kick out by Martin. But the impressive thing is the 285-pound right guard, Colin Papp, who pulls around and gets a hat on an inside scrape linebacker. That's a great job by number 60, okay, in that deal there. And you watch 77, the center, just turn back on a 330-pound kid. 53 is 330 pounds. All right. And, he just turns back on that kid and pushes him out. Some good stuff. Defensively, back again, Arian Johnson. The kid is always where he's supposed to be. He's in man coverage on this. We were in man coverage in early downs against this team because they like to run RPOs. And the way you stop RPOs is by being in man coverage. So early downs, 1st and 10, 2nd and medium was a man coverage down for us. So, they try to take a shot over the top, and Arian's beat. Okay, and then all of a sudden he just turns and runs and makes a great, great play. I mean, that's a tremendous play by that guy. And he made numerous ones throughout the evening. Okay, another defensive play here. This is a nice job by Cole breaking up a pass here, just breaking on the ball. And I got to say, Cole is getting better every week. He just seems to be getting more comfortable, and he's getting better each and every week. Another deal here, they're going to run the ball, and we were very multiple in our fronts, okay, and we changed our fronts all night long. We changed our slants and our blitzes, and we tried to give those guys up front on Hudson, a lot of things to worry about. So when you look at it here, they're confused on who to block. So the right tackle goes to block 45. The guard blocks down on the nose, and no one blocks the slant the end. So we get a tackle in the backfield. And, when you mix up your fronts and you do some different things with the slants and angles, it confuses blocking schemes. And I think we were doing a lot of that, and I think it gave them a lot of trouble up front on Friday night. Defensively, again, they're going to take a shot here. Another great play by Mr. Wooten. Okay.
Yeah.
He and here's the impressive thing is that his pass rush is to the level of the quarterback. Okay. Once you run past that quarterback, you're done. Okay. Because he's going to duck underneath you and you lose contain. But he rushes to the level of the quarterback like he's told, and then he spins back, and now he pursues the ball. And he he swats it, and we do a drill once a week with our D lineman, and it's called tomahawk chop. And that's exactly what this is.
Yeah.
We got it from Rutgers. Coach Shiano does it at Rutgers, and here's the tomahawk chop. He just swats the arm. They ruled this an incomplete pass, which I was happy for, because if it was a fumble, it went right to their kid, and they recovered it. So I was glad it was an incomplete pass. And that was just a great play by Jade.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, I said a lot of defensive highlights. You look at what we're doing now in terms of how we're creeping. Okay, you see the linebackers; they're stacked. Now they're creeping down. Are they coming? Are they bailing? Okay, we don't know. Now they're both coming. All right, so those guys get picked up. We're in man-to-man coverage with a free safety, and again, they threw it the wrong guy. That's a great play by Cam.
Yep.
Just an unbelievable play by him. And of all guys to pick on, I don't think that was the guy they should have. I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about Will Grabko and his punting. I mean, I think he did an unbelievable job, pinning them down there all night long. This one being I can't believe this kid, well, this is the one, but we get the ball down on the 5-yard line. I mean, that's a tremendous job, and we practice this, we do. And so again, that was the game we were playing. Let's pin them down there. And what did it lead to? Well, it led to this. And again, I go back to our linebackers peeling to the back. If you watch the linebacker on the right side of the screen, number 45, Luke Laub, he sees the back peel out of the backfield. Okay, and what does he do? He runs right to the back. What happens? The quarterback does not see him, and the next thing you know, he picks off the ball and he's in the end zone. Now, this kid has had an unbelievable string of games as a sophomore.
Great play.
And that's just a phenomenal play. And it was I didn't even know what happened. It happened, and it was so fast. And next thing you know, he's in the end zone. But a tremendous job by him. And again, that's just kids listening to what their coach
in the JV game too on Monday.
Yeah, it did with Dicer, right? Here, Amir Mason. Again, just the way we closed on a ball, the way we played coverage all night, I think was really good. And another case of it is, catch the ball and let's rally up and make a play and put them in a long yardage situation. Okay, here's another one. He avoids a sack. We got to have that sack right there on 3rd and 6. And now the crosser coming from the bottom of the screen across the field should be the responsibility of those linebackers. But what do? They think the quarterback's running with the ball, so they bite up. And now they leave that crosser alone. They hit him. Now, I want you to watch the hustle here of Jackson Laub, number 27, chasing this kid down and then swatting the ball. And there's that swat and rip the ball out again. And I always tell the kids, good things happen when you run to the ball. Okay, now if you watch here, Kenny McGoldrick, number 54, sees the run go downfield, and he's going. He takes off. He's trailing the play. Next thing you know, there's the ball, and there he is falling on it. Good things happen when you run to the ball. Okay, and that's something we emphasize a whole lot with our guys. Okay, another defensive shot here. They're running those crossing routes again. And again, we kind of confuse them on what we're doing up front. Okay, we send the Mike linebacker. Kenny gets through. Okay, he makes a tackle. Okay, if you look at the coverage, look at the top of the screen with the back flaring again, and our linebacker running with them. I mean, that kid, number 3, is going to Tulane. Okay, Tulane University.
Right.
That's a big. They're a top 25 team right now, or they were not too long ago. And our guys are running with them. Man, that's unbelievable. And Kenny making that big sack for us. We could see how that happens here. If you see him, he's stacked right over the middle there. Okay, there's that little line. Okay, Kenny is stacked. Now he's going to go one way, the nose is going to go the other. All right, so what happens? The nose goes one way. Okay, and now the left guard is sliding the opposite way.
Yeah.
And he sees it too late. Okay, so the center picks up one of them, and they can't pick up that kid, Kenny coming through. So again, that was another thing that we were doing to them throughout the evening, sending different blitzes, changing the fronts, and, it worked out pretty well for us. this is an unbelievable play again. We talk about Arian Johnson. Arian Johnson's covering this kid man to man. All right, the ball is thrown out there. He undercuts it and picks it off. I mean, it was close. I don't know if it hit the ground or not, but I always tell the kids, if it's close, you got to steal it.
Absolutely.
You got to steal it. Okay?
Absolutely.
Convince the referee that you made the play.
Yep.
And sometimes you do, you know,
and he did.
And he did. You know,
Yeah,
I think this ball might have hit the ground.
I did too.
I asked him today. He wouldn't admit it, but yeah. So now here we come back. You know, we're going to start, you know, running the ball up inside, and you know, again, the work of our O-line up front. You know, with Michael Tallis, we flipped Martin over, and now we're going to use him as a lead blocker, and just a real nice job there. Okay, and that's what we were doing, just kind of running that inside power play. All right, here's another great play. Okay, if you look at this, what does the quarterback want to do? He wants to throw the swing to the back. See it? Well, look what our guy's doing. We are swinging to the back. Okay, that was definitely, you know, something we knew that if that back is to your side, you are to abort your blitz and go peel to that. Okay, and now we got to get the slant of the line coming that way so we don't lose contain. Now, these are things that Kenny McGoldrick will do for us, you know, in terms of seeing different things, and our kids will make those calls on the run. So, you know, Luke Laub comes over here, and now we're man-to-man, and they got nowhere to throw the ball.
Yeah.
And that's just a great job. You know, these are things that go on during the course of the game that are subtle but are so important.
Absolutely.
You know, another situation here, you know, it's a scramble drill. You know, they're in trips coverage. Look at, again, Arian Johnson did a great job. He is the under guy. Okay, so for example, he's this flat defender right here. Okay, Arian Johnson is the flat defender here. Okay, and he's responsible for sitting underneath. Okay, so what happens is, as this play develops and those receivers get vertical, okay, number one, who is down the bottom of the screen, runs it in route, and Arian jumps that's a tremendous play. Okay, look at the coverage as it starts to develop here with the two vertical routes, our corner and safety on those, Arian jumping down on a dig, our inside linebackers sitting down, and then we're good on the top of the screen. This kid has nowhere to go with the ball. Okay, and he winds up just having to run out of there and get rid of it, and Arian Johnson stays with that kid and makes a great play. Another great play by him. Okay, again, I thought we played very good coverage-wise, you know, in our secondary, and you know that's a tribute to the work that our DB coach, Coach Chadwick, does with our kids. Here's something I guarantee no one knows. Okay, this is supposed to be a screen. Okay, if you look at the up back, okay, if you look at the up back right here, he is releasing into a screen. Now, our D linemen are taught that when you get released, when teams run screens, they want to pass protect you and then they'll let you go. Well, you got to feel that as a D lineman. Will Grabko, our nose here, is getting blocked like that. Okay, and if you watch him right in the middle of the screen, let me just put a little dash on him so all our viewers out there can see where he is. Okay,
love the color strader.
There it is. So that's where Will is. Now, if you watch him, he feels the screen. He feels it. And what does he do? He jumps right on number 3, who the intended screen is for. That's a great play.
Yeah.
That's an unbelievable play. And what does it force this kid to do? It forces him to throw the ball away. Now, I thought that this should now be a call because that ball may have gone across the line of scrimmage and they got linemen downfield.
Yep.
But the ref said, no, it did not. But this is a great play by Grabko. And I often say this. You don't have to make the tackle to make the play.
Right.
Okay. Will Grabko made that play, and no one anywhere would have thought that he did.
Yep.
You know, so that's a tremendous play by him. You know, still working on, you know, again, gap control. Tremendous swarm. Okay, tremendous swarm on defense. Okay, and we'll get it from the back end. You know, again, you know, we talk about gap control, right? Gap control, cutbacks. Look at the cutback now with Wooten and Kenny McGoldrick as they play the kid cutting back. and Martin. Okay, great job. Okay, great job. And these are the things that we do on a daily basis with our guys. Another defensive clip. I wish I had more offensive stuff here. But we have I think this is supposed to be like a hitch and go or a hitch and pitch, something like that. If you watch what they're doing here, and Luke Lab almost had another pick out of this, but again, great defense. Look at our guys swarm down to the ball. We felt we were a step ahead and knew what they were going to do, before they even did it. Another one here. Okay, drop back pass. All right, we get a hold on Wooten, and that just, the reason I have this on here is just the impact that our defensive ends have. So we get now 55 offensive tackle for them. That's the kid that's going to Vanderbilt. All right, he couldn't handle Jaden. He just couldn't handle him. So again, we forced this kid out of the pocket. He's got to throw it away. Again, the emphasis up top to the back out of the backfield and our linebacker picking him up. That's a great job. So we were very fortunate to have our kids play this well on defense for us. Again, drop back pass. Let's take a shot. Here's Arian Johnson. He's in man coverage with a free safety over the top. We always tell our kids, don't ever give up on it. Now, again, when you look at this, our four guys underneath are all turning in unison, okay, and running with their guy. Now, Arian just keeps running. Keep running. Stick your hand up. And the coaching point here that we tell our kids is this. When his hands go up, that's when your hands go up.
Yeah.
Okay? And you can't look back. He never looks back here, because when you look back, that kid's going to run away from you. Okay? But when his hands go up, that's when your hands go up. All right? And again, he made a great play there. And I don't know how many that was that he made on that, but just a tremendous job by him. And it was only the second game he started for us. He's playing in place of Joe Fleming there. Here's another situation here where they're going back to pass, and watch Jaden here. I mean, Jaden had a monster game. All right, and just defeats two players, sack in the backfield, down the distance. Look at the play. Look at the chains. It's 3rd and 6. Okay, we need a play here.
Yep.
We need a play, and Jaden makes it. Man, that's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And you look at it from behind, he had 2 sacks, numerous plays, hurries. This, I think, was his best game he's ever played here for us. And again, against a very good team, but that's a tremendous job by him. And he has played very well lately for us. He's the kid that we thought he was going to be right now. Run game, look at Jaden here. Okay. We'll look at it from behind. When you see this converge down now, okay, they run inside zone. They're trying to reach Wooten. Wooten comes back. And again, look at the Mike linebacker. Look at Kenny. Look at the nose. Okay, all converge and bang. That's a great job. Okay, so we played the run fairly well also. And then here, another one. This is a 4th down and 3 late in the game. 4th and 3 late in the game, and our guys make a play. I mean, look at this. 4th and 3 late in the game against an offensive line that has 3 300-pounders on it, and a running back that's going to Tulane. That's pretty good. And our kids are undersized. They fight. They muscle. And they scrap and claw. And that was a great play for us. The overtime touchdown. Martin's just a load. I mean, there's no other way to describe it. There's 3 kids there. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and he's in the end zone standing up. Just a great play. Unfortunately, we score. We kicked the extra point. They scored. They went for 2. They got it, and we lost the game. But I think, looking at those highlights, I think you can tell that, we're really, really not that far away.
Yeah, and the character of those kids, was just unbelievable in that game.
Yeah.
That, like you said, you're going against the team is such a good team, but they never stop playing. And the defensive battle, what a lot of people thought may have been, may have been a runaway for Hudson Catholic. It wasn't, and it turned into probably one of the best games of the year we saw.
Yeah, I think and again, we're going to do our work. We're going to do the things we need to do to try to shut you down. And that's why we're there so late every night.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, that's
absolutely.
That's
We also, again, we want to remind our viewers, if you have any questions for the coach or us here at the Coach's Corner, be sure to click on that link to ask questions. Now, what we have coming up next, and we're going to have the bracket brought up here of the non-public B state playoff tournament coming up. And of course, there were only 8 teams that qualified. A bunch of teams decided not to play and pull out. So here we have only 8 teams in the non-public B. So what's nice, a little off week this week. And then on November 11th, Friday night, we are going to be we are the number 7 seed. We're going to be taking on DePaul in a battle of the Spartans in a rematch from the first round game a year ago. What's your thoughts on that, and what kind of preparation we got coming?
There's actually 3 Spartans in this tournament. There's DePaul, there's Immaculata, and there's Holy Spirit are also the
Spartans.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah. Listen, when you look at that bracket and you look at the quality of the teams up there, it's outstanding. I mean, Red Bank Catholic is as good as anyone. We just got done watching DePaul with our kids on film against Don Bosco. Mm-hmm. Don Bosco is number 1 in the state.
Yep.
They beat DePaul by 3 points. Just to put it into perspective, Don Bosco lost by a touchdown to, I forget the name of the school down in Florida, but that team is a top 5 team in the country. So we're dipping into these waters now that are, where I want to be. Okay. Was it IMG? Yeah. And we're dipping into those waters, and but DePaul is as good, if not better, than they were a year ago. They have 2 outstanding backs. The kid from last year, Jaden Jones, who wore number 24, he's now number 4 this year. And the other kid, Anthony Almeida, who did not play against us last year, he's number 6. Outstanding. Their quarterback is a freshman because their starter is down, and I don't think we'll see their original starter. However, the freshman is like our freshman quarterback, very good player. It's the battle of the freshman quarterbacks.
Yes.
They're huge up front, not as big as Hudson, but they're very strong. They got good receivers. They have numerous offer kids on their team, and they don't look at their record at being 4-5,
right?
And get wrong idea, because when you look at the DePaul schedule, Bergen's on there, St. Joe's Montville, St. Peter's, Don Bosco. There's 4 losses right there. I mean, and they did not get blown out. They lost to Archbishop Stepanak in the shootout, the Battle of the Bridge. Who Stepanak is the number 1 team in New York State, or 2. Iona Prep, maybe 1. So they beat Del Barton. They beat Hudson Catholic. They had to score 21 points in the 4th quarter to defeat Hudson Catholic. Yep. So, that's a little incentive for our guys that we hung in with them. But, this is a tall task, as we all know. And, but I think our kids are very, very excited. I think we want to go up there and play them and just measure how far we've come.
Sure.
And try to see if we've closed that gap a little bit on them. But, the bottom line is they just have so many good players.
Yeah.
And they're well coached. They do a nice job with their scheme. Their kids only play one way, so they could have a full offensive and a full defensive practice, where we can't do that because our kids play both ways. So that enables them to get more reps and more things done. So, we have our hands full.
Yeah.
We've had our hands full every week this year.
Yes, exactly.
We've shown up, I think every week, but really won. And, we're battle tested.
Absolutely.
We've been up there. We played them last year. I told our kids that, listen, we went up there last year and we're still standing. Right. We're still alive.
Exactly.
Okay. Exactly. So now we're going to go back this year, and we're going to do our best to try to, be a little more formidable of a opponent.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to look at this season, how these kids stepped up in every game. There was a little in the middle of the season, which we were talking about and stuff, but these kids have come up big in the last few weeks. They've playing even better, if not better than they were at the beginning of the season. They just seem to step up in these key games against these tough opponents. And as you said, this is where you want to be.
Right.
And I think this is where Immaculata Football wants to be overall.
There's no question this is where we want to be. This is where I want to be. And I told the kids today, I said, we're watching film of DePaul and Don Bosco. We're not watching film of Boundbrook and Manville.
Right.
You know what I mean? We're watching, no disrespect to those guys.
No.
I know Manville had a great year this year. But we're we want to be in this arena. This is where I want to be. And I think most of the Spartan fans want this.
Yep.
So to me, we just got to keep on the course of getting there. And I think we're getting a little bit closer. I think what we did against Hudson Catholic opened some eyes, and I'm just hoping we could do the same thing against.
Yeah, it's such you talk as a lot of the teams we played for. A lot of these teams had key Division I players, and our guys stepped up big time to get some of these players, no doubt.
Yeah,
and I think that is so huge and says a lot about not only their character, but a lot about Immaculata Football this year that maybe we wouldn't have been able to say in other years.
No, I you're right, Ken. I think. We play hard. We coach the kids hard. We get as much out of them as we possibly can. And they appreciate it. They may gripe and grunt a little bit when it's going on, but
it wouldn't be right otherwise.
You know what? We grind them. We work them. We don't change what we do. I think the kids understand the routine every single week, and we respond. So, and again, I like to throw challenges at our guys.
There you go. Absolutely.
You guys want to be at this level. This is what you got to do.
So this preparation now has got to be a little bit of a challenge for you guys with an off week coming up. And now, what has been your preparation so far this week and what to expect next week?
Well, we're taking things in sections this week. So, in other words, we have 2 weeks to prepare rather than, the normal 1 week.
Right.
So we took things in sections. The first thing, we did come in as a staff on Saturday, just to take a preliminary look at DePaul and thinking that we were going to play them. Okay. And we wanted to evaluate and look at our film against Hudson. We finally got the official word on Sunday that we were playing them. And then immediately we got the films and, I started breaking down the films. We gave our kids off on Monday. There was a JV game on Monday, which our JV kids beat Hudson 14-0. I also gave the kids off on Tuesday, and I brought them in today for our first day. Now, we met as a coaching staff both Monday and Tuesday night. Last night we were there till 9:30 working, and we got our game plan in chunks. So we're taking certain parts of it. We'll put another piece of it in tomorrow, and then by the time that we get into the end of the week, we'll have it all done. So it's a little easier because we have a little more time,
right?
So we could shorten our practices down a little bit, that's the way we're attacking it right now.
Awesome. Well, we want to also remind everybody, don't forget to join the Unitas Caritas Foundation. If you join, $19.66 a month will get you this beautiful mug that has the Unitas Caritas logo on one side and the Spartan logo on the other. Be sure to join up. You'll get a card, which will get you into all the Spartan home games for free. So be sure to join up for $19.66 a month at UnitasCaritas.com. We also want to remind everybody, if you're watching and you're interested in attending Immaculata, be sure to check out IHS Spartan for a day, where you can register at ImmaculataHighSchool.org. Well, that just about does it for us here. Do we have any questions, Rob?
We actually do. We have one question tonight. The question is, are there any thoughts about bringing back like a Thanksgiving game or the week after Thanksgiving game, depending on where the playoffs fall?
Well, the week after Thanksgiving would not be feasible, because now you're going into the state playoff finals and all that. Thanksgiving Day games, I love them. Okay, I think they're great. I think it's gotten away from high school football. I think it's a big part of the tradition. I I would be definitely open to it. I know our principal, Ed Weber, has mentioned it to me, that we would like to entertain that. However, we are locked into a conference. We do have to play the schedule that we're given. There are some open dates there. So, I could see it being something that we could explore down the road. And but I love a Thanksgiving game. I love the tradition. I like extending the season and all that. So, maybe we can make that work someday.
Awesome. Anything else, Rob?
That's it.
That's it. All right, everyone, that about does it for us on this edition of the Coach's Corner. We will be back again. I'm not sure if we'll be back again next week with the off week this weekend, but we may be back to talk some more about the preparation, getting ready for DePaul on Friday night, November 11th. The game will be at DePaul and Wayne. I believe kickoff will be at 7 p.m. Again, a rematch from the playoff game a year ago. It will once again be a battle of the Spartans, DePaul against Immaculata. Kickoff is at 7 p.m. on Friday night, November 11th. We want to thank you all for joining us tonight, everybody. For Coach Columbo, I'm Kent Gregg. Good night, everybody. Have a great week.